Okay, the first item on the agenda obviously is to approve the minutes. Have you ever had a chance to look them over? If so, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve by Glenn,
And second.
second by Jose. All in favor? We need a roll call vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dubon.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
Next item on the agenda is to approve the claims. Once again, I'll entertain a motion if everybody's a chance to look them over.
Make a motion to approve the claims.
Motion by Tim,
I'll second the motion.
second by Steve. Roll call vote.
Dubon.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
The first thing I have basically is a matter of, there's two individuals that would like to come back onto the fire department. They stepped down for one reason or another, and we just need approval of the fact that we can approve them as volunteers. One's Tim Sternberg, the other is John Smith. I think you probably know both of those guys, so I just need to make a motion to approve them as volunteer fire department members.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Glenn,
I'll second the motion.
second by Steve. Roll call vote.
Dubon.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
It seems like kind of a broken record here to update on the senior center that we're still waiting to hear something. But I did finally hear from the attorney, Eric Shue, today, and said that Mahmood's will be back from Pakistan next week, and that he's hoping to have closing the following week. So hold your breath, cross your fingers, whatever you want to do with that. That's kind of where it stands at this point. So I guess we're ready to do that whenever they're ready to go do that. So the next thing is the street sounds update. I think at last meeting we talked about what that would be, what it was as far as putting music back on 4th Street. I met with Destination Huntingburg this morning, and they're willing to kind of help foot the cost of that. The total cost with adding a couple extra speakers to cover Market Street Park as well as 4th Street comes about $22,000. They're probably the only company that does that type of system, other than trying to get individuals to try to rig something up to do that like we had before. And it's the estimate I think they had before a couple of years ago was well over 30-something thousand to do that from something locally, and they're not even sure it would work correctly. So what I would like is a motion to allow me to go ahead and work with Destination Huntingburg to purchase the system, and I can use edit funds to do that through. And as long as you guys agree to let me do that. So I would entertain a motion if possible, or answer questions, whatever you would like.
So they tended to feel that they're going to pay half or something? Or do they
That's
have a
what I
problem?
was told. If not, I can still cover whatever it is. We'll get it done. I mean, I think the merchants are all looking forward to it. I've talked to, I actually got a list of about 150 different cities that use this same system. I've talked to 3 of them, one in Georgia, one in Kentucky, and one up in Indiana, Rushville, Indiana. And the one in Rushville, which is a city very similar to ours, it's a stellar community just like ours was, or is. And they have rave reviews about how great it is. I mean, even on St. Patrick's Day, they were able to play Irish music downtown, different things of this kind. So it would be something that the merchants would probably enjoy having in front of the stores, but also we can use it for advertisement during the day. They can announce different things going on during the day. It can be used as a safety factor where if a child is lost, they can broadcast the fact that they can come pick the child up.
I was going to ask if it had a public address
Yeah, it's got,
system in it.
yeah, it does. And it's a mobile system, for example. We can actually take it away from the base unit, basically where we're hoping to put it as a current blend because it's our building. But say if they need to take it into the park for some reason, there's a mobile unit that could go with it as far as that's concerned up to, I think.
Somebody here locally then can get on to announcements as well?
Yes, yes. Well, actually, the company itself has told me that they would tie into it for the first 30 days and make sure everything is working correctly. We can individually control different speakers off the light poles as to wherever they're at. So if one place doesn't want it so loud or whatever, we can control that also. I'm at the control panel. All we need is one laptop computer and the internet for that. Everything else is 900 megahertz, so there's no Wi-Fi need, no cables, anything that kind is necessary. It just jumps from pole to pole, basically, is what it comes to, and we're able to put it right on our light poles, so.
I think it'd be a big plus, particularly when we have functions such as the wine and jazz and all the 4th Street and all those margins, so I'm in favor of it. I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion made by Glenn,
I'll second it.
second by Tim, roll call vote.
Dubon.
Aye.
Bounce.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
Where would that be paid? You said it'd be on a current plan?
Well,
Who'd be
the
in
main,
charge of it?
well, basically, we're working with Destination Huntingburg right now, the Davidsons, their office out of there anyway, that they would be there, but also we have events going on at Market Street Park. It's so close that if there's something, somebody could get up there and tie into it if they do something different. They could also tie in when we have our 4th Friday bands playing. They could actually tie that into the system too and play it up on 4th Street at the same time, or not play it on 4th Street, whichever they want to do that type of thing. So it's, I mean, like I said, every place I've talked to just has raved about it. I mean, I don't know that much about it. I'm just going by what they've told me. But I do know that it's something that it's definitely, everybody I've talked to has said that everybody loves it on the downtown areas and things of this kind of have music playing, so.
Well, I'm sure what we had is quite antiquated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was put a DVD in or something, and hopefully somebody starts and stops it and changes it. But this, obviously, we can program to where it comes on certain times, goes off certain times, we can change it around, things of this kind and all that type of thing.
Assume they can remote into it maybe even.
They can, I mean, the company can, because like I said, they're gonna do that for a while just to make sure everything is working according to what it's supposed to do. I talked to John about the light poles, about the plug-ins, and all of this, basically, it's just a regular plug-in on top of the light post, so that we wanna make sure that it doesn't go on dusk to dawn, only. So that it's there all the time, so but that shouldn't be a big deal. I'm assuming it's not a big deal, right, John?
Shouldn't be.
Okay, all right. Good deal. Any other questions about it, or, I mean, I don't know all the answers, so I just know that it's something that everybody seems to want, so. The last thing is just kind of an information purposes. I think I sent you all out a plan as far as the ARPA spending plan, just to kind of look over. It's something that, you know, we just have to submit something in April, basically, to get things started. That doesn't mean it's locked in stone. If there's other priorities that come up that fit the qualifications and things that we can use it for, obviously we can change around a little bit. But these seem to be some of the things we'd already got started, so the work started on, I guess, to make sure we get them taken care of without having to take out of the general fund and things of that kind to finish them up. So I don't really need a motion for anything of that right now because we really haven't finalized it. Have we, Tom?
No, but before you can write any checks or spend any of the money,
We have to get it approved.
by you,
Right.
council.
So probably next month, maybe sometime we'll come back with make sure that everything's where it's supposed to be as far as all the forms are ready. Then we'll get approval for y'all to do that, so.
It did seem appropriate for what we were looking to do anyway, so.
Good. Next thing I've got is just a update on the roofing here for the city hall. And as of today, the start date is hopefully on April the 11th to replace the roof here on city hall. So.
It's raining tomorrow. About time.
Yeah, well,
That's been a while.
Case it rains. One other informational purpose, you all probably have already noticed it, but they finally put up the railroad bypass signs on 231 and 64.
Saw that.
In fact, I was told yesterday that they, after I complained about that they hadn't let me know that they were put up yet, so I figured they weren't. He said, well, they were put up since February the 28th, so go figure. Anyway, so I drove out to make sure they were there. So
I noticed them when they were put up, very nice.
Where's the one on 231?
it's right there, almost directly in front of where the old
Teen
high school
Outback.
is.
Okay.
Teen Outback
Is it
area.
on Teen Outback side or on the?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
on Teen Outback
Yeah.
side, yeah.
Yeah.
So that way they can make the
Yeah.
left turn
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
that.
It's farther to the north than I would have put it, but it's almost, you're almost to the intersection before you figure it
Well,
out.
I was surprised, because that's why I didn't see it, because I was looking for it someplace else. And I was looking for a yellow sign, not a green informational sign, but
Yeah.
obviously, you know, they
And they are marked out on 64 too, I noticed.
Yeah.
Well, we can start there.
Yeah.
At least we got them.
Yeah.
It's fine, it only started in June, so we now
We
have-
got 'em.
We got them, so.
Just gotta fix the stuff.
All right, that's all I have right there. John, you're up.
Yeah, we'll open that can of worms.
Evening, council.
Hello, John.
John.
Gas department. Put another 6 services in this last month. 3 at Hunter's Crossing, the other 3 over in Jasper, Ireland area. Now we're down to about 9 regular diaphragm meters, and then we'll have to start using the smart meters. We got 50 of them in stock. Still waiting on the other 100 to come in. Then the crew's been doing their critical valve inspections and inline valve inspections to make sure that the valves are free of debris and work properly in case we ever need to use them in an emergency. So they've been working on that. And then they're going to start replacing them modules on the new diaphragm, or the newer diaphragm meters, just like in Hunter's Crossing. We got the diaphragm meters there, but they're fairly new, so we can get the modules, the smart point modules to put on. They work just like the information, just like a regular smart meter. So we're going to be, they're like $100 a piece, so we've ordered some of them in, so we're going to be changing them out.
That would extend the life of the diaphragm part until you get full service out of the diaphragm part of the meter.
Yeah, since, we put them in, Hunter's Crossing been, what, 3 years now? There's no, you need to take that meter out of service because it's still almost fairly new. So we just got the smart point module to put on instead of the whole meter. But all the new meters we install will be the actual smart meter. So we got to still working on getting the software downloaded. I've emailed the company and having a little hard time getting a response back, but still working on it to get it downloaded. Just hard to get it done right now. Then the crews are going to start working behind the gas light. Wastewater's all been replaced, the stormwater's all been replaced, all the electric's done, so really the only infrastructure left behind the gas light is the gas service and the gas main. So we're going to start on that next week. Hopefully then they'll get that all done. There's like 12 meters there that probably need to be, we're going to have to replace, so hopefully get that all done, all the infrastructure will be done, and we can move on from there. Any questions about the gas department?
Hearing none, go for it.
No?
Really? Starting with the electric. Did install 4 services all out at Hunter's Crossing. Then they did finish 6 more poles on County Road 200 West. We've been working on that for the last, I'd say 5 years. We got 5.5 miles. Really starting at the city park all the way to the end of St. Henry. We only got about a dozen poles to replace. We've replaced probably about 200 in that span.
Wow, that's a lot.
So that's really improved the reliability of when storms come in.
It looks good too, by the way. It looks very good.
Yeah.
Those poles are all straight and
Yeah,
lined.
For now.
I drive that way quite a bit, and it's, it's nothing like some of the places you go.
Crews did a real good job getting her up. Then they did work down at City Park for a little bit. They took a light pole down where the bus is going to go. They put a breaker box there and some lights. So I think they're going to pour concrete to park the bus on. And then I think we're going to have lights that shine on the bus.
Yeah.
So they've been working on that. And then they've been working on some line clearing. And then they do have quotes since Hunter's Crossing 4 is getting close to having the curbs poured. And once they get the curbs poured, we'll be able to start laying conduit for our primary wires and our secondary wires. And then the school district out there with the new administrative building and the sports building will be needing conduit for that project too. So we lumped them all together. We did get 3 quotes on the conduit.
Wow.
It's going up quite a bit.
Yeah, it has.
The cheapest one was Brownstown Electric with $31,645. We got 2-inch, 2.5-inch, 3-inch, and 4-inch. So we're pretty well down to nothing in our stockyard down there. So and there's a lead time on the two of them. There's a lead time at the Brownstown, they do have that in stock, so, and that happened to be the lowest one. So, I mean,
Probably why it's the lowest, they didn't have to
Yeah,
buy at the new price.
exactly.
Get them while they can, in other words.
Yeah.
The price of the conduit's so volatile, just
I
like,
bought,
I guess, everything else.
I bought sewer pipe this year, I know. Same thing, right, basically.
But we gotta get it for when Hunter's Crossing 4 is up and when they get ready for the curbs. So we gotta start to get in there and get all that work done. We're gonna need conduit.
So we need a motion to accept the bid, is that what you're
Yep.
asking for?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Steve,
I'll second.
second by Glenn, roll call vote.
Dubon.
Aye.
Bounds. McFerrin.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Ware. 5 ayes, no nays.
And then I did add, last council meeting, we talked about the transfer of territory from Huntingburg Electric to the REC. This one homeowner that's building a separate garage and a separate house. I got with REC, they got the final measurements. We went up, they met with the owners on where they're gonna put the garage and where they're gonna put the house. So they had to actually widen it a little bit, and they go all the way back to the territory line. And the driveway is actually gonna kind of snake back to the road. So they made, as you can see in the drawing, the solid red line is what we would transfer to the REC. It's 21.12 acres. I just want to make sure we're all on board.
Is all that 21 acres is all owned by the same guy, same person, right?
Actually, I guess what,
Yeah, actually, that owner owns all the surrounding property
Okay.
too, except for the little development on the west side there.
Okay.
So, as I understand, they're just, it's only being proposed that we give up the territory there that's going to be built on, but it's still 21 acres, but it's going to be a single developer, single use.
yeah,
Yeah, glad it ain't the whole lot area.
just want to verify.
And the cost for us to serve it would be somewhat extraordinary, and the cost for them to serve is much less.
Yeah,
Yeah,
want to make sure everybody's on board with the council. That
we need to vote on it?
Yeah, you probably should, because I have to sign a petition saying that the council's approved it.
But we're giving up the red square.
Yeah.
Anything further, they would have to come back to us.
Yeah,
I mean, they got to feed into that somehow. I assume they come off the road, or, I don't,
Yeah.
for them, they can come anywhere. They go cross-country.
see there's a veteran line transmission on that side of the road, so if that wasn't there, it'd be a lot easier for us because we just go overhead right up that county road.
Yeah.
But with veteran there with their high transmission line, they got an easement there and they won't allow,
Cross.
they can't build parallel with their lines. We'll throw an induction onto the line we build overhead.
Right. I don't have any issues with it, I just, if it's serving the one customer, it's great. If we're building a subdivision, I want to,
Yeah, oh yeah, subdivision, we
definitely take a different approach to it.
yeah.
So,
I'm glad it's all it is.
I'll make a motion if that's what you need.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion made by Steve, second by Tim, roll call vote.
What exactly is the motion?
To approve
the transfer of property.
Transfer
transfer
the
of
customers.
electric territory, 21.12 acres. What's the property owner name, do you know?
Was transferred it to REC though, right?
Yes, transferring it to REC.
I mean, I wouldn't put in property owner's
Yeah,
name.
I'll get you that, I'm sorry I don't have it.
Okay. Dubon.
Aye.
Bounds. McFerrin.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
Phil, I will have to give it Art, I think that first part of that where you had 2.1.
Yeah,
I think that was in this,
it could have been a
it
typo.
should be 21. so
21.12, yeah.
We multiplied it by 80 instead of 800,
Okay,
so,
I'll work with him,
okay.
get that filed.
And one question on the sound system.
Yeah.
Mayor, on how big are the speakers gonna be on the pole?
I can get you the schematic, I'll get you specs.
The only thing I would think is when we hang the Christmas wreaths.
Yeah, well, they're, basically,
On the pole.
it's a matter of, we'll have to work out as to where there's gonna go, as to where they, I mean, it could go up and down, whichever we need to do. I mean, because I know we got banners up there also.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to figure out where the best place for that would be, if you have to move them up or down a little bit or something.
Okay.
They come with different size straps to mount them on the poles, but I'll get you the specs and stuff for it.
All right. Any questions on
Yeah,
the
we
electric?
don't want, we want that conflict every year.
No. Sorry, no music.
No music over Christmas.
Any questions on the electric?
I don't
No,
know.
very good.
Thank you, John.
Thanks.
Thank you. Jerry,
Good evening.
good evening.
We'll start with distribution. We had 3 new water services installed at Hunter's Crossing this month. And then with the city purchasing the house there at 405 North Main Street, we were given work orders to remove service. So we went ahead and dug up the main and the nice new highway and took off the main and took care of that. So there's never any problems there. With your guys' permission to allow us to do our own backflow testing for the city, using Luke Rossi and his license that was obtained with the city, we've completed all of the water and wastewater department backflow devices. We haven't got to the parks yet due to them not turning water on until the month of April. So as soon as they get their water turned on so we can have water flow to test those, we'll get those tested as well. We're continuing to work on updating our GIS system with all of our new construction, and we're adding a few options to that. We've got the capability to include meter sizes and pipe material coming into the meter and from the meter to the house, which is going to play a big role in the near future. We're going to have to start doing a lead and copper survey to find out how many lead service lines are still active in our community, and we have to be able to provide information on that with our side and the customer side. So that's going to help us out a lot whenever we start that program.
Is that done by a water test?
Well, what we'll have to do, we'll have to pothole and physically inspect ours.
Okay.
With the customer side, we can do the same if we can visually see it. If we can't see it, we will end up asking the homeowners to be able to come in and directly inside the wall or crawl space that the water line comes in. We can do a swab test, and that'll tell us if the pipe's lead or not. So that's not something we haven't jumped into that just yet. But something that we will be working on. We're getting things lined up to do that. Our inspection has to be done by October of 2024. So we'll be getting hot and heavy into that here this year yet.
Did I misunderstand? You said copper lead?
It's a lead and copper rule. Lead was outlawed in, gosh darn it, I think 1984.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It's pretty close. So their IDEM is pushing for us to have all the lead removed out of the water system due to
Right.
possible health conditions. We do testing throughout the year for that with IDEM. We've never had anything come back with high lead counts, but they want a good inventory of what we do still have in the system by October of 2024. And then they want us to have a game plan of what we're going to do to remove those lead service lines at a 3% rate per year from there on after.
How many
So-
you guesstimate you have now?
We're figuring probably 10 to 15% left.
Really?
We removed almost 80 lead service lines last year.
Wow.
So
If it's copper on the, if it's lead on the customer side, do we pay for it?
so if
That's what I was
it's
getting ready to ask.
if it's lead or if it's galvanized downstream from a lead line, they'll even consider galvanized lead because it'll hold on to the particles. So with the city on that, we have to make the customer aware, and we have to urge them that it needs to be replaced. The city is, as of now, the rules haven't been set in stone yet, but as of now, the city is not going to be responsible for that cost. It'll just be something that we have to let them know, and then from that point, every year after that they do not change it, we have to send them out another letter letting them know that it needs to be done
Do we-
until it's been replaced.
Do we maybe need to get them to sign something off on that, that they're aware of it?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. Will you be inspecting every home constructed after or before that date?
We're gonna, I've gotten with Debbie Ayers already with the billing office and got tap permits and things like that, so we can go back and anything after that certain date, we'll know that there's no chance of there being lead there. And our new subdivisions that's been put in after that date, we know there won't be lead there. And that'll be part of our investigation that's due in 2024. And then from there, we'll go from there. But anytime we find a lead service, we automatically replace it. If it's just something another utility stumbles upon, we'll either call emergency locate in, just depending on the situation. If they would happen to catch it or something and put a hole in it, we can't fix lead. We can't put a repair clamp on it, so we'll replace it immediately or call locate in and we replace it before it's ever buried, just to keep up on it that way. So, just something I want to make you aware of. It's not something that it's not something that is in motion right now, but it's being put in motion. So.
I know that it's been many, many years ago, but they used to pothole every meter when they did a street.
Right.
I don't know if they still do that.
We've done that a lot. We actually, before we did the highway project, we were under the, we were told that from 3rd to 5th Street, that was slip line, that all those were copper. And we went ahead and potholed them just to be sure. And we actually found 4 of them that were lead. And we got them taken care of before the highway was repaved. But that's the game plan, the hope. Anytime the street department has any roads that they want to pave that we have questions about, we will definitely pothole them before they're paved.
Did you do Washington Street?
That would go way black first.
We don't want to talk about it. Okay. Actually, we have, I think from the 100 to the 300 block where we moved 32 service lines
Oh my
from
gosh.
the old 6-inch main to the 8-inch main, and we decommissioned the 6-inch main. We found 15 out of those that were lead, and we did replace those.
Wow, good for
So,
you guys.
And then multiple on the Main Street project from 2nd Avenue to 14th Street was lead as well, that got replaced. So we try to stay very active with it.
Wow, good job.
Well, that gives a little force behind all those holes in Washington Street. I mean,
Right,
they have-
and that was the reason for that. That 6-inch water main there has been in the ground for a long time, and we continuously had water main breaks on it. Way back when that was put in, they wasn't good at putting valves in place. They were expensive. So you didn't have a valve at every intersection to shut the street off block by block. And whenever that 6-inch water main would give way, we would have to go out 5 to 6 blocks and turn valves down. And we try not to shut the water off because then that creates boil odor, and we try really hard not to do that. So most of the things we do is live. And that was the reason to get all that off that 6-inch water main. That's why Washington Street is like it is. We've got,
that's justification, and I want people to hear that because
Right.
that's the most complained about street in
oh yeah,
town.
and it is bad.
But
I understand
there's-
it's bad, but
there's-
there's reason for that.
There's a reason for that, and it's
We
the
don't-
right reason.
It was on the scope to be repaved. I think it's in the next 2 years. I think is what it
They're
is.
still working on
And
it.
we didn't want to have it repaved and then continue to have these water main breaks and tear up new pavement. So we do have, we're going to start our hydrant flushing April 4th. We try to do that before the summertime. We don't want to get too far into the summertime because our water main goes up. And once we start it, we like to finish it. So once we're done with our hydrant flushing April 4th, we do have to get back into the intersection of 3rd and Washington and tie in 3rd Street to that 8-inch water main, and then we'll be completely finished with that. Then it'll just be whenever the street department has that put on their schedule to repave, Washington Street will be taken care of. And hopefully no more issues there.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Very much so, but I'll definitely keep everybody updated on the lead and copper as we move forward. Like I said, it's pretty new, we're working our way through it, and we'll definitely keep everybody informed on it. And any lead service line that we do find, we always let the customer know that we did find it and it has been replaced.
I want to ask something here, maybe I'm out of context, but is this something that we could, once given the data, say it's 1984, whatever it is, or whatever year they quit using it or whatever, if we sent out a notice in the water bills or anything that anybody that would voluntarily like to have it checked,
That'd be great.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
one
And we would
piece of that
pothole,
point.
we would pothole and check it for them?
The easiest would be if they would allow us, like I say, inside the home to check the pipe directly as it comes into the wall. Would be
Yeah.
the best. You know, it's, the city requires 6 foot of copper on the customer side. Sometimes we get there and we've got 8 foot left on the roll. We're not gonna cut 2 foot of copper off because it's
Right.
not gonna justify anything that we need.
Right.
So we'll leave that. So to pick the spot to pothole, it's kind of hard to do.
Arbitrary.
Right, we might pothole here and we've got copper, and 2 feet later, if we potholed closer to the home, we'd have a different type of pipe material. So,
Right, I mean,
Gary?
yes, sir?
Have you heard of any other communities that might implement some type of requirement similar to how we require the sewer line be inspected when a home sells? Is there a way that we could at some point require that this lead issue have an inspection and require that it be upgraded when a home gets sold like we do with sewer?
Yeah, me and Phil touched on that a little bit, and there was some concern about all the requirements and fees and everything else that goes along with purchasing a house already. And it's not, as of right now, the rule states that we don't have to make them change it. I like where you're going, that was my thought too, but it's not something that we can make them change or we have to pay for at this point. So, I don't know if you would want
but I
to.
assume the city could have a more stringent rule than the state.
Yeah, you can. It's just to what, to what effect? I mean, or if they're not going to replace it anyway, we've spent money and time and effort. We do have to do it. I mean, we have to do it, but we have maybe a slower pace than mandating it to be done every time a house is sold.
The side effect of the sewer mandate is, we have so much leakage, infiltration, that it's overwhelming us, on the treatment side, and I assume there's no, other than they're getting bad water, the home potentially,
Right.
they may not even, but potentially, but that's the only side
Yeah,
effect here.
right.
It's
We had really a vested interest in the sewer inspection because we were inundated with inflow and infiltration. We weren't able to treat it during rain events. And it's helped a great deal. It hasn't completely resolved it, but it's helped a great deal.
Makes a difference. So. Well, let's just hope we can get voluntary compliance,
Right. And
but
that's,
most people probably will.
right. And it's something that, we'll end up consuming the cost of the lead sample kits and doing the sampling ourselves just because we have to have it for that. And I feel, everybody knows the Flint, Michigan story and everything else. So I feel that if you let a homeowner know that there is those health risks and the information's everywhere, that they would be more than happy to replace that at their cost.
I would.
Knowing the potential health conditions. There's lead service lines have been out there forever and there's no health, there's not been a whole bunch of issues with it. And we could test off of a lead line and not get any readings. That pipe gets a coating inside of it on the lead, and to be honest, a lot of the lead service lines on the inside of them look better than some of the copper.
I wouldn't doubt that.
They really do. Just like our concrete water mains, they're asbestos cement. And some of those, the interior of the pipe, it's slick just like plastic is. You don't get the tuberculation and everything, the growth built up on the inside of the pipe.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's definitely, once, like I said, we'll definitely stay very informative with you and the public on that. And when we get to that point to where we need to start, we've got a good scope on the areas of concern. We can send, like you said, send out a letter with the billing and
Yeah, that might be a way to get some jump on it, maybe.
right, yeah. That's for sure.
Moving on.
All right, sorry I got off there a little bit.
That's all right.
off topic. We did have a service line leak on Northview Drive, and Luckily, it was in a yard. We were able to dig that up and replace it. And then we had a water main break on East 2nd Street and one at the Wagon Works complex. Just 2nd Street's another bad one. We're looking, kind of got that in the works to replace that main as well. They're on the 400, 500 block. But the one at Wagon Works, I just honestly believe that was due to weather, just the way the ground freezes and thaws. We finally, the water main that we replaced on Hickory Drive last fall, it was around Thanksgiving time. By the time we got all that in the ground, it was extremely wet. We were falling into winter there, so we wasn't able to finish any dirt work then. So we got out there this past month and completed all the dirt work along Hickory, and seeded and strawed all that and put that back together. And then our water tower inspections were due. So we had Pittsburgh Tank and Tower. They're able to come out and inspect the water towers with a pretty much like a remote control submersible unit. That way we didn't have to drain the tanks or anything like that. So we had all 3 towers inspected. They said that they're in great shape with minimal buildup in the tanks. You're always going to have settlement. They said there was no need for immediate clean out. The only thing that they did show concern about was some lack of signage for OSHA. All that's been put in place. We've already got that taken care of. And then a few safety items on the top of the towers that wasn't required when they were built. So that'll be something that in the future we'll work at getting updated as well. So, but as far as that goes, that'd be it for distribution.
Okay, good deal.
Good.
The filtration plant, we've been doing our yearly PM on all of our pumps and valves, replacing packing and some bearings and items like that. We had our old blower that we used to backwash our filters through our treatment process. It went out at the same time that we put our new blower in. So we never repaired that blower, just due to not really needing it at the time. But it's there. It's an expensive piece of equipment. So we went ahead and had the blower rebuilt and stuck it back on. That way we've got a backup in case that new unit ever goes down. Our consumer confidence report for 2022 was completed and posted in the local newspaper for the public on March 19th. I included a copy of that in your board pack. We still have yet to, in the history of the Huntingburg water filtration plant, have a maximum contaminant level violation or any water quality standard issue. So other than just reading off our levels on that, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Have you ever compared ours with other cities? To see
I have not.
I was curious how we,
No, not personally.
on your water plant distribution, is that a typo on 967 gallons, or is that only 1,000 gallons you produced that year?
Oh, no, it's not 1,000, no.
Okay,
No.
because then you
No.
might be missing a zero behind it.
It's possible, or
Three
they
zeros.
did a decimal on it.
Line 1.
And then with our preventative maintenance, we had Jasper Electric Motors come out and do vibration testing on our high service pumps. We try to do that once a year. Those are our lifeline. They pump our water from the plant to the city. Without those, we wouldn't be able to get our water to the city. So we try to make sure we keep those in good standings.
Clear.
Our metering system, we're still in year 5. We did finally receive the 250 water meters to complete all the meters that we'll need to take care of our residential side of our metering program. So we're in full swing on that, and still catching the customer leaks as they come through on the census system and relaying that message to the customer to help cut costs on their utility bills.
Good deal.
And that's all I've got.
Good deal. Anybody got any questions for Jerry?
Can you speak to the accuracy of the census system? Or do you not want to?
As far as catching the leaks,
No, as far as reading them.
as far as reading them,
No.
yeah,
We used to hear a number of, what was it? You know, a certain 99.8%.
But as of this month, I did just look today, we have 3 stales. So out of, we've got
That's what I need to know.
2,000, I think we've got close to 2,200 meters in, and we've had 3 stale reads as of today, so. And it varies, it fluctuates with, to be honest, the weather has a lot to do with it. The precipitation,
That's awesome.
it's all radio waves, so that, the
I've been-
cloud coverage and everything.
I've been told parking the car over it makes a difference.
It does.
So,
And we have a couple of those that,
every once in a while.
yep, yeah, we'll have to go out and ask the customer to move it and physically read it to get it in for the billing.
Yeah. Well, that's a high accuracy rate, and that's why I'm asking.
It's funny how it works. The Old National Bank on 4th Street, their water meter is in the vault, and it reads religiously every month
Wow.
through all that concrete.
Amazing.
Yep,
Can't breathe in there, but you can read
that's
it.
right. That's exactly right.
Read a meter, but that's it.
Yep. Nope.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Phil?
Some time ago, the city of Huntingburg was awarded a grant for development of Northside Park at Hunter's Crossing. It's a grant it's a $300,000 matching grant, and it's awarded by the Department of Natural Resources Land and Water Conservation Fund. But as a condition to that grant, the city has to be willing to dedicate that land into perpetuity for public park purposes. And its use can only be changed with the written consent of the Indiana Department of Natural Resources in the future. So the resolution you have before you would be a resolution authorizing the mayor and clerk treasurer to sign a deed from the city to the city, but attaching on that deed a restrictive covenant that would dedicate that property into perpetuity for public use, public park purposes. And it's about 4.8 acres, I believe. Yeah,
The
Almost
new
the revised description.
That is amazing. That's a long description.
Yes, it is.
You understand all that?
And basically, it's just a matter of if ever we wanted to do something different, we would have to go all the way back to the Department of Natural Resources again and
Correct,
start
yeah.
all over again with anything. So it's there forever.
Yeah, it's a parking
And
forever.
at this point, that's probably the most feasible use of that land.
Right.
Yeah, I think so,
For
too.
park purposes, it's not really developable because of the size and the water detention
The
facility
location,
there.
just a general location of it,
Yeah.
yeah.
It has the retention area as well as the lake there, pond, whatever you want to call it.
Do we have a number for this?
2022-14.
It's just a resolution, so it can be
All-
adopted.
I'll make a resolution to adopt 2022-14.
Yep. Motion made by Steve,
I'll second it.
second by Tim, roll call vote.
Dubon.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
That all comes, all three of those things come together. right?
Yep, that they're all part of that.
They're all
I'll just
part of the
leave
same
that-
thing.
I'll just leave that.
Okay. Anything else you have for me?
That's all I have.
Tom, do you have anything?
Yeah, we need to set the public hearing for the additional appropriation that we were supposed to have last time
On the 22nd, yeah.
on the 22nd for April the 12th at 5:30.
We just need a motion for that?
Motion to do that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Glenn,
I'll second it.
second by Steve, roll call vote.
Dubon.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays.
Anything else, Tom?
Nope, that's all I got.
I have one other item that, I met with the superintendents last week, I think it was. We were discussing things going on with the departments and things of this kind. And one of the things that was brought up was the footwear reimbursement on the policy manual. Our policy basically says they're reimbursed for up to $200 every 2 years. And as we were discussing that thing, you can't hardly find a pair of boots anymore for less than $200 that have the steel toes and are qualified boots and things of this kind. And they're wearing them out much sooner than 2 years. So they were wondering if we could get the council to make an amendment to change the policy procedure manual for reimbursement up to $200 every 1 year. So I'm leaving it up to you.
So this is a reimbursement program.
It's a reimbursement program, right?
Yeah.
Is that for all city employees or just the city employees required to wear certain footwear?
According to the policy manual now, it doesn't say, it just says approved personal protective footwear will be reimbursed up to $200 every 2 years.
It has to be approved by their
The
superintendent.
superintendent would have to, yeah, we talked about that in the meeting, the superintendents would have to
So
approve.
clerk treasurer's office wouldn't necessarily need
That's
these.
what I say, it's not every city employee, it's
Yeah.
just certain departments.
Well, I don't know, they're getting ready to move furniture around, so they might have steel toes.
Steel toe.
I need hard hats.
I do want to, rather than adopting or amending it tonight, I would request that we kind of word this because the whole process has been $200 for 2 years. We kind of need to work the current, say if somebody just got it today, tomorrow after you pass the amendment, do they get another $200 pair of shoes?
Yeah, good point.
And there are people that have spent, a lot of people spend $100 every year, you know, and then pay a little bit. But somehow I think we need to
One I
limit
think,
that, or,
yeah, I think it would be annual. To me, it doesn't make any sense to be biannual.
No, and that's what it says, that's what it's
I don't know
listed
why it
as
would
now,
be.
yeah.
Where I work, the policy is annual, and it's not that lucrative, but it is annual. You guys got a pretty good deal there.
but it's not going to be, it's also not going to be a calendar year. So everybody's going to have their own.
Everybody's gonna have their own,
Shoe
Anniversary.
Is it an
anniversary,
anniversary of their hire?
Anniversary shoe.
shoe anniversary.
I mean,
We have that too,
Yeah.
which is, I don't know how to
Either
keep
that
track
or you
of
make
it.
it, starting January 1st from January, December, that's a calendar year. It depends on how we want to word it, make sure everybody's on the same page.
I just think we need to
Yeah.
be a little thought before we just.
If somebody get $400.
I don't know why we wouldn't
1 year.
wait,
Yeah.
would we wait to implement it until 1/1 of '23?
Well, you still have that. Then somebody's going to get their shoes in December. And then another.
Well, I don't know if I can speak.
Sure, go ahead.
James with the safety department keeps records of those. Anybody that purchases a pair of boots has to turn the receipt into him to make sure they're safety toes. I think if you require safety toe shoes, there has to be some sort of reimbursement there. So he keeps track of it on the safety side. And I think when we talked in that meeting, we talked about maybe starting at January 1 of this year, and he had everybody that's bought boots from January 1 till now, and that would keep them from getting $400 this year.
They'd be excluded until
Right,
January
they'd be
1 of
excluded until
'23.
Next January 1 to make it fair.
Either way is fair.
Just
I
keep
mean,
it calendar year rather than anniversary year.
That
would be,
Makes it a lot
That'd be a whole lot
easier to keep
easier to
track of.
track for
Once
us as well.
And also,
It'll be January.
each product needs budgeted too in their budget, because each supervisor's got a lot of that in his budget.
Yeah, do you have?
No, we don't, no, the,
How do we budget it?
you pay, oh yeah, we do. Yeah, but we have to pay it back, but where does that come from? From their budget? Who pays?
Yeah.
From each department's
Each
budget?
department.
Yeah.
And that's why the superintendent would have a little jurisdiction over
Right.
anybody trying to take advantage of it. probably.
Right.
But everybody's got a budget, I assume.
Yeah.
Right.
Utility does. You know.
I mean,
you'd have the most-
I don't have a problem waiting until we get the right terminology for putting it in there. I
I
just
agree.
want to bring it up to you guys because it was brought up to the superintendent, from the superintendents.
Well,
And it's,
it seems like even if somebody bought boots yesterday for $100, they're only getting another $100 remainder of this year. So
Right.
That's it.
you're going to give them $200 a year regardless, and if you change it to calendar year, regardless, they're going to get $200, whether they already took 100 of it
Right.
on the old plan, and they could get another 100 on the new plan.
So is the new plan, would the new plan be $200 per year?
per year.
Yes.
And you change it to calendar year.
And they
so
were
it's
getting,
not
they
such a
were getting
nightmare.
$200 every other year.
Every 2
So we're doubling it.
What would the estimated additional cost be to each department? Is there a way we can get that number pretty easily?
$200 times the number of employees.
10 employees and $200 is 2,000 bucks.
$100 more.
It's $100
per
more.
employee.
How long does the boots last?
No, $200 more.
We get about a year out of a pair of.
We're talking $400,
Red
right?
wing brand boots, that's.
For 2 years,
That's
yes.
the thing, after you
Oh,
work
yeah,
them
that's
up
true,
and,
I would,
you know, the weather,
water.
right, a year on a pair of boots.
I'll vouch for that. And just generally wear on them, you know, they break down inside, you
Walking on
know.
the pavement.
Well, most guys wear the same boot every day.
Oh, yeah, every day, all day.
Every day, all
Some of them
day.
put a lot of miles on it.
Yeah, and some don't.
So, yeah. When you walk on asphalt, it wears your boots out.
Yeah, I think get some wordage for it, I think that'll work.
I don't have any problem. What does it take to change the manual? I mean, is that
Uh,
Well,
a,
it's just
an
a.
amendment.
Yeah, it's just an amendment that you would approve at a public meeting.
Okay, I didn't know if there was-
We haven't adopted by resolution the policy and procedures handbook. It's always just been brought to you and you've reviewed it and approved it.
yeah, I remember we just did it. We don't have to go through that whole process, but we can just add an amendment.
That's correct.
Okay.
So we want to wait, put some terminology together first, and how it's going to be worded and things, and then we can bring it up at the
How
next
it's
meeting.
implemented is.
Yeah, I think so.
If you would, yeah, if you could present that.
In the way it's supposed to be read in the policy manual, so
Right.
everybody.
Well, we would have a section,
Right, for the amendment.
and then that would be an
Right.
amendment to that section, right?
Yeah, if you guys bring the amendment forward, I don't think there's gonna be a problem there, as long as it's reasonable.
Okay,
Nobody-
that's all I have. Anybody else have anything? Anybody, Scott, do you have anything?
For the crowd.
You're just here to
He's
say
the
hi,
only
right?
citizen?
You the only citizens here?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion to adjourn, seconded by Tim.
Roll call?
Roll call vote.
Bond.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Kissling.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
Five ayes.